live show. But, as me, I've been doing radio for so long, I just keep on talking and talking and talking. So we don't lose you and lose your interest. But anyways, without further ado, I want to bring in my special guest this evening, Laura Eisenhower. Welcome to the show.
Hey there. It's great to be here.
Laura, how are you?
I'm good. It's so wonderful to hear your voice.
Oh, it is so great to hear from you. And the last time we did a show, which was only a few months ago, it wasn't too long ago, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, it was. And now we're on the FM dial. Can you believe this, Laura?
Yeah, that's excellent. Wow. Wonderful.
It's so fun. It's like I have my own studio now. I have a microphone. I had all that before, but now I feel like I'm at a real radio station right here at California State University, Long Beach. And Alfred and I were talking about you when he was on the show on 9/11. Did you get a chance to listen to the show with Alfred and I?
I have it saved. I've been all over the place, and but I definitely still plan on it.
Alfred came out as the judge. He's like, well, I'm coming in as the judge today to make sure that everybody knows that we are going to move forward in prosecuting George Walker Bush Jr., Tony Blair, Dick Cheney, and Donald Rumsfeld for war crimes against humanity, which is something that we've been trying to. Alfred was the judge on the tribunal in Malaysia a couple of years back, where they found them all guilty of war crimes. So he's going to be bringing that forth here towards the United States and Canada, and this is going to be a big thing.
Yeah, it's excellent.
We love Alfred.
Absolutely. Love Alfred.
So tell me what's been going on with you. It hasn't been long. I know you've been real busy, but why don't you give my listeners a little bit of a background on who you are? Of course, I introduced you as the great-granddaughter of our beloved President Dwight D. Eisenhower, but tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself.
Well, okay. I've had sort of a lifelong path. We all have, but I mean, when it comes to the work that I do today, I was pretty aware of a lot of it as a young child. I think we've been disconnected. Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And, the awareness that I had a lot to do with the imbalance on our planet, the patriarchal agendas, and the different things that we can contend with more on a deeper soul level. And then as the years progressed and I started to really pay attention to, the fact that Eisenhower, is my great-grandfather, I started to really ask myself, well, what are you doing in this family? Like, there's a reason for this, and I knew that. Are you still there? I'm
here. Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, good. And so it just all started to make sense to me that there was some piece that needed to come forward that I would assist in bringing forward, along with many others, that would help us to crack open the limitations and the repression and the control agendas that seemed to be very obvious to me. I just didn't know the backstory as much as I know now. We can feel things and sense things, but then you start to learn about the technologies, the ET races involved, the galactic history,
right,
and the deeper layers of the military-industrial complex, which, of course, you warned us about. So my whole life has been about kind of connecting the dots on a very multidimensional level. What is it going to take for us on a soul level to achieve liberation? What is the real deal with God, goddess? What is this planetary body all about? And a lot of these questions my intuition knew the answers to, and then I just looked for outside information to validate some of those intuitive hits, and then learned a lot more along the way, which helped me to just kind of piece a lot of stuff together.
Well, and some people came in, some of the students here have come up to me, and they knew that you were coming on the show, and they said, Dwight D. Eisenhower, didn't he meet some extraterrestrials on a tarmac back in when he was a president? Can you validate this? Is this a truth?
Well, this is what's interesting. I mean, I could say black sheep of the family, whatever. I mean, I've been the out-of-the-box kid, the one that's been probing, asking questions, going through incredible experiences that forced me to, really dig deep. Right. And nobody in my family, and I have to say I'm really close to everybody, I spend, holidays still to this day with them, there's never any talk about extraterrestrials, UFOs, or any of the Eisenhower treaties, any of the rumors. A lot of it is really hard to bring out at some of these gatherings because it might be a funeral or something. You can't just really just all of a sudden present all this. I plan on engaging people more on these topics, but everything that I've discovered is through my own research and the recruitment in 2006 to go off planet, and just a lot of the stuff that I was aware of when I was a kid. And so to answer that question, I have no doubts that he met with extraterrestrials. I even just went to the premiere in LA of Stranger at the Pentagon, which is the story about Valiant Thor and his crew from Venus that met with Eisenhower and Nixon, hoping to have his assistance in their mission, which he wanted to help them with. He put them on VIP status for 3 years, but the shadow government shut it down and vetoed the bill that he tried to pass. And then we have, of course, the Greys, the rumors we hear about in 1954, and the meeting with the Nordics.
Yep.
And so I've done an incredible amount of research, and I present a lot about it. And, of course, I quote a lot of whistleblowers because I wasn't there. I haven't had a conversation with Ike. I haven't had any family secrets given to me. But with whistleblower testimony and with really learning about our galactic history, it just makes a lot of sense. And that's pretty much where I'm at. I just expose it, but I tell people, take what resonates and leave the rest. It's important to just have an open mind and for us all to be a part of this discussion. And I just want to open up that door so that we can get some answers and know what we're up against.
Well, I believe I saw pictures of you at this LA premiere. What was this movie called again?
Stranger at the Pentagon.
Stranger at the Pentagon. And you didn't call me? I can't.
Oh my gosh. We actually almost weren't able to go. It was like the last minute and everything was really crazy around that time. I should have just grabbed you. My goodness, what was I thinking?
Now, didn't Tanya, is it Tonya? Tonya
Maddenford?
Tonya Maddenford. Yeah, she's a, people that do not know, she's a director, correct? Yes?
Yeah. Yep, she was there. That was great to see her.
Yeah, I saw she sent me some pictures of this. So that was what it was. It was that premiere. Okay, that makes sense. And that was what, last month, maybe?
Yeah. So I mean, this is going to open up, I think, a lot for people. And what is wonderful about it is it says, it's based on true events. Most of the time, you can't even get away with saying something like that when it is dealing with government extraterrestrial topics.
Right. And speaking about extraterrestrial and government stuff, we touched a little bit on the Alfred Weber show about this project called Project Pegasus. And we described it, this time travel program, and we talked a little bit about Andrew Brazago and his affiliation with it. Can you tell my listeners a little bit, and we got about 4 minutes left in this until this break, but until we go into break, why don't you tell them a little bit about this Project Pegasus and how you were recruited into this, and we'll get a little bit more into that in the second half of the hour.
Sure. I was not directly recruited into Project Pegasus. I was pre-identified in Project Pegasus in 1972 before I was born. What I was recruited into was like a branch of MJ-12. Oh. They were the ones behind doing this. They are connected also to Project Pegasus, but it's compartmentalized. And they all know each other, but only a few know. The rest are kind of in the dark. And but it all connects. All these dots connect as far as what Andrew went through and what I was being brought into.
And can you tell my listeners kind of tell them a little bit how you were, how you were self-identified and what was the reason they identified you?
Well, that's kind of longer than a couple minutes, but there's something called Looking Glass Technologies. Looking Glass Technologies, they have their hands on it. They're quantum access technologies that can locate you in past lives. They can project into the future and sort of see, what the probabilities are, and because they're trying to construct artificial timelines, they can see how well they're doing in it, and they can see also what they are trying to move us away from, to siphon us into another agenda. And they targeted me based on past lives, based on, I think, my family connection, Eisenhower, right, and also the work I do here. I've been told numerous times that they wanted me to help them reseed a new civilization on Mars. Right. There's a lot more to it as to why I got out of it and how I woke up. Well, I was pretty privy to not going from the get-go, but there were some major insights I got along the way that really helped me to get out of it and stay here.
And you were involved in this jump room technology, which is also this Mars thing, correct?
Well, that was more Andrew. I was recruited to be a permanent colonist to go in 2012 in something called ARC, spelled A-R-C.
Right.
Andrew was a child participant in the teleportation program that was more about establishing, the Mars colony and sort of experimenting on kids to see how they could withstand it. I was recruited to be a permanent colonist to whatever they had been setting up.
Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, we're going to get deeper into this subject matter with Laura Eisenhower. So stick around, guys. We got a couple minutes before we get into the hour. So we'll be bringing Ben back. But I want to tell everybody out there, the Student Rec and Wellness Center, Meditation Mondays, starting every Monday right here at Cal State University. It's a perfect show with Laura on the show. We're having Meditation Mondays right here at the Cal State University Long Beach particular foyer or wherever out in the campus quad or whatever. So you guys could do that, do your little meditation and yoga or whatever you want to do. Got a lot of things going on here. Also, next week, I am going to have JoAnne Cremer. She was an apostle. She is going to be joining me next week. And then the following week, we'll have Minister Kenneth Emmanuel from Sound Doctrine Spiritual Ministries now. And then we're going to be going and have Chuck Gollop. And Chuck is a former police gang task force of the Bloomington Police Department, and we're going to be talking in depth about the flip side of the police departments and how they have militarized, but yet, kind of the good side. And also Chuck is a retired cop, so he's also a new comedian. So we're going to have some jokes and some good times with him. And then right at the Halloween, we are going up to Rob Zombie's American Halloween Terror, and we're going to be broadcasting live from that on October 30th. So that's going to be an incredible show. So you're going to want to stick in, and all you have to do to go and find out a little bit more about 32 Degrees of Insanity is go to www.32degreesofinsanity.com. You can listen to, you can see our calendars. That is our blog. You can read all about all the subject matter that we're talking about, and also the recent, even the recent blogs and the old blogs as well. So we'll be right back here on the Truth Frequency Radio Network, K-Beach, 88.1 FM HD3 on kbeach.org. We'll be right back.
Exposing faux capitalism with Jason Erb. Sundays on Truth Frequency Radio.
All right, guys, gals, we are back. It is 9:31 of the p.m. It is 10/2/2014. Ben, you got to turn off your mic, brother. You're like really, really loud, brother. Anyways, welcome back, Truth Frequency Radio Network. We are 32 Degrees of Insanity right here on the Truth Frequency Radio Network and kbeach.org. That's kbeach.org, 88.1 FM right here at California State University, Long Beach. Tonight, my special guest is Laura Eisenhower. Laura Eisenhower is the great-granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Tonight we're talking about the time travel programs. We're talking about the Mars jump room programs. We're talking about all kinds of stuff and even extraterrestrial intelligence. If you haven't listened to 32 Degrees of Insanity before, there is basically what my show is. It's a conspiracy radio show. What I try to do is I try to bring some information, allow you to take that information, run with it, take what you'd like, and leave the rest. That's all we do. That's all we want you to do. But we're hoping that maybe we can educate you a little bit on understanding some things a little bit outside the box than normal. Could there be multidimensional states? Could there be possibilities of, aliens and UFOs and all those types of things? There is the possibility, and there is proof behind it. There is even proof dating all the way back in history to a little time in Samaria, where the Sumerian texts speak about a planet called Nibiru, where a bunch of people, a large, tall people called the Anunnaki, who also have some things to do with the Nephilim that are spoke about in the Book of Enoch, and also in Genesis in the Holy Bible. Tonight, we are going to talk with Laura Eisenhower in regards to Gaia, which is the word for the earth, the mother goddess, the other half of the source, you might be able to call it. This is, what we do to the earth is what we affect the earth in all aspects of our frequency. We need to know that the earth, we are just visitors.